Annyeong, it's Mikey here, and today I'm coming to you guys with a really exciting new Hall Effect Switch. And this is from UR Studio. So I actually have to thank two people. It's UR Studio and also Toronto Keyboard Man. The reason why is Toronto Keyboard Man actually helped being able to bring it in because UR Studio doesn't actually have a lot of global presence. So it was really cool that they sent me out the UR Ice Extreme. And I liked the UR Ice Ultras because of like the deep sound, but I wasn't a big fan of like the typing feel on them. So we're gonna have to see how much has improved with the Extreme, and of course see what it's like and do sound tests. I will be coming to you guys also with a full-on just Wu-Tang 60v2 video with just the sounds of different switches. So leave in the comments what switches would you like to hear in the 60v2 and see what kind of switch you'd like in a dedicated video for that. And of course, I'll make a video later on with how to just mod the 60v2 base as is for those that are buying the pre-built to see how good it sounds. So please make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get right into this video.
Now let's start off with taking a look at the UR Ice Extreme. Now thank you again UR Studio and Toronto Keyboard Man, because really it was both of them that really got this together and really getting this out to me. Now this is going to be their newest one, and it's a dual HE, like as you can see there with the lighting. It's a very interesting switch, and I know that the UR Ice Ultra sounded really good, so we will have a comparison here for the sound test, and of course going to the sound test of the Extreme. And it's really interesting that this is a dual stage spring, so I'm really curious how that's going to feel like typing.
This is going to be the UR Ice Extreme. It's a dual LED, so yeah, dual lighting switch. So either way you can put it whichever facing way and it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, north or south, it's still going to get the lighting in through the switch. I really enjoyed the typing on the switch. I think it's probably one of the best feeling typing wise. Now the sound wise, I'm gonna be honest, it's not as good as the Ultras anymore. The Ultras definitely did it a lot better. I think the Ultras had a much nicer sound to them, and it was of course much deeper. This one is definitely losing that deepness like the Ultras, but it gives you a better typing feel comparatively. I'm really curious how much more they're gonna do. I feel like UR Studio is really making some really nice Hall effect switches, and it's making a big improvement. And that's what I really want to see, because at the end of the day, I want to see how much more it can improve and how better it can get. So we're of course gonna have to open this up, see what the switch is like, and of course see what my thoughts are and do a little bit more testing with like the RGB and the backlighting. So let's get right into that.
Now let's take a look and re-look at the information of the switch. So the interesting thing with the whole dual stage spring, from what I felt, was that typing with it made the switch feel really good. It actually felt very close to what a mechanical switch would feel like. Like, it's not exact, of course, but much closer than most of the other HE switches that I've tried. I would say even compared to like the tie switch from Owl Labs, this one felt a lot better in terms of the typing. Now, you can see there it's closed bottom and it has two light diffusers. So this is supposed to be dual lighting, meaning you can switch the switch around any way you want, up like north or south. Both ways it's going to get the lighting, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, of course, we're going to have to look close at the stem as well to see the stock lubing. Now, the switch stock lubing is very minimal. I was kind of surprised how minimal the looping was. I'm sorry that it's really hard to see though, because this switch is transparent. So the stem being transparent makes it really difficult to show you guys exactly like what the stock looping is, but you can kind of see it right there. It's very minimally done. It's on the sides, only where the rails would be, and very minimal on the sides of the switch itself. So even with this minimal looping, the switch actually is very smooth. So even stock, you don't actually need to hand loop it to use it. If you do hand loop it, I feel like the sound just gets a little bit better, so you get a little bit of a deeper sound, but stock is actually pretty fine. Now, the spring itself, this is what I'm most interested in, because this is the first time I've seen a dual stage spring in a Hall effect switch. Most Hall effect switches, you don't get like the dual stage, and it's very single stage with very minimal stuff. And here you can see the Ice Ultras, for example. This is what most Hall effect switch springs are like, where it's a single stage and it's wide like that. And the Hall effect switches, I find most of the time when typing on them, don't really have like that nice feel like the mechanical switches do, and this one was much closer. And we're going to measure this out, and it's supposed to be 22 millimeters, and we just have to make sure that it is correct at the 22, because sometimes, you know, you get something like where the information says it's a specific length, but then it's actually not. This one, it is 22 millimeters, and it felt really good. The whole switch pressing down, you get a really good feel downwards, and then pushing upwards, you get a little bit of a faster pushback. But overall, I felt that they did a really good job in terms of this. I just kind of wish the switch itself sounded a little bit deeper and a little bit cleaner in terms of just the pure sound. But let's compare the two. So as you could see there and hear there, that it's going to be the top out sound. It is quite heavy, but to be fair, like all switches are like that. Even mechanical switches have a top out sound issue, and overall these Ice Extremes really did have bare minimum when you're typing with it. I mean, what I mean by bare minimum is that when you're actually typing with them, you don't really get that bad sound compared to, I'm gonna be honest, the Tykens did have a bit of that up sounding. Now, as you can see with the stem mobbling, so these switches are actually a little bit loose in the housings, and you'll see that the switch is actually with the moving more than the stem. So the top outs rattling is not too bad. And then when you press it down, you do get a little bit of the stem wobble, but the stem wobble is very minimal. Like in camera, it'll look like there's a lot more stem wobble than when I'm actually doing it in person. So keep in mind that it really has very, very little stem wobble. Now we're going into the backlighting test, and this thing is so bright. In general, like the Wooting switches were very bright, and the Wooting is a very bright board for backlighting. The Ice Extreme, as you saw here, I just removed the switch, and then I actually turned it around so that it can go either way, just to show you guys that the lighting can be either way. Now the switch is super bright, and you can see here with the Wooting, it's super bright with like the lighting, and it's very, very accurate. And this is the tachyon mode, so 70% of the lighting. Now this is 10%, and then we're going to go to 50%, and then go back to the 70%, and then go all the way to 100%. Now you can see how bright this thing can get. It gets super, super bright. So the color wise, very accurate. You're not going to get like a color hue. I mean, to be fair, it is a transparent switch, so there shouldn't be any color disfiguration from the switch itself. Overall, I think they did a really great job with that. Like you saw the lighting come up from the top and bottom. That's how bright this thing can go all the way around. I think this time they did a really great job. I'll have the links in the description for you guys. You can go check out Your Studio's new Instagram, so they are going to be going more global, and go check out Toronto Keeper Man to be able to get the Switch.
Now, I hope this video helped you guys with seeing if the Your Ice Extreme is a Switch you should get. Honestly, I think they did a really great job, and it was a huge improvement. I think overall, I'd love to see what they do next. I think out of all the different Hall effect switches that I've tried, there's been some good ones, like the Owlabs Tie switch, very good. The Taiken is an improvement, and I think it's okay, but the top out sound I know some people aren't gonna like. TTC has been making some really nice clacky ones, but I've never really been a huge fan of like the super clack high pitch for the Hall effect boards. So that's just kind of where I've been at. Geon's been making really good ones as well, and I would actually love to see a raw V2. That would be really cool, of course. I'll have to come back to you guys with more. I actually have a really large set of Gateron switches that came in, so we're gonna have to do that as well and see like the Deltas and the new Jade Ultras. So please make sure to like and subscribe. Go check out the other videos I got, and I'll catch you guys next time.